I remember one of my clients, when I was still working with clients, he told me, you're the first person I'm working with where I feel you're the boss when we talk together. Because he said, I want this. I said, okay, so how are we going to do that? He says, I don't know. You go figure out. I said, no, that's not how it works. Like, you got to figure out how you want me to implement this. So let's go through it. Like, let's say in a you have a magic wand. How would this look? And then he says, like, we need to have the tasks on the left side, and you need to be able to view the task like on everything else on the screen, and then they need to switch between the tasks. I was like, okay, perfect. So we're going to render a list with tasks on here, and then we just drew it together. I put it up, and I was like, okay, so now how does this need to work? When do they get the tasks? I was like, yeah, like, should be automated. It was like, let's talk about the automation. So what happens when they finish a task? What happens? Does it need to schedule a new task in a week, and how would the new task come from? And then, like, we would need to define like a map of tasks and say, hey, trigger this task 5 days after this was done. And then after this one was done, trigger that 5 after it. And then once we actually figured out what his idea was about, then I could start building it. But most of the times, clients are not going to tell you their idea. They're going to give you a vague description of the interface, hoping that you can, read their mind.